Today is a wonderfully unique calendar day in the Hebrew calendar. It's the 30th of Cheshvan, and it makes it a Rosh Chodesh Kislev. So the two months come together today as the 30th of Cheshvan and the Rosh Chodesh Kislev. Cheshvan is one of the most miraculous months because there are no holidays in the month. Came right after Tishri, where the entire month is a holiday. But the secret of Cheshvan is that every day is a day that is darkness and has a potential light come through it. In the deepest sense, Cheshvan has the word Nahash in it. And also the word Hash, Het Shin, which is a word meaning silence, but also the root of Hashmal. So, Cheshvan is very deep. And then you come to Kislev, which is considered the month of lights. Why is it the month of lights? Because it's the darkest month. So Kislev and Hanukkah comes in Kislev. And as you know, Hanukkah was the Baal Shem Tov's favorite holiday, and it's also my favorite holiday. And the reason why it's my favorite holiday is because it relates to the olive, the zayat, kuzayat, like an olive. That's what I am. And why the olive is so important is that, and why it was probably the Baal Shem Tov's favorite holiday, was because there are two types of Jews. There's the egg Jew and the olive Jew. The egg Jew is from Pesach, and the olive from Kislev, from Hanukkah. And Hanukkah takes the oil from the olive to make the lights. Well, how do you get the oil from the olive? You crush the olive. You crush it to get the light of the highest illumination of darkness. You have to crush the olive. Oil comes from that. But that's what I'm trying to say here, from the darkness of Cheshvan into the approaching silence and snake of Cheshvan and the gematria of Cheshvan itself, and that's what I'm getting into in this slow way. Cheshvan has gematria of 364. Het Shin Vav Nun. This Het Shin Vav Nun 364. On its own, if you add one, it's 365, which is actually my name, Alexander, in Gematria. But it's also the 365 days of the week, and it's the 365 negative commandments. Then you have the name Kislev, Kuf, Samech, Lamed, Vav, that's 116 on its own, plus 1, that's 117. And that's the gematria of Aleph and Hey, which is one of my symbols. Aleph 111, Hey 6, it's 117. That's the number of verses in the Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. And every verse in the Shir HaShirim is with a Hey and then an Aleph. Shir, the Hey is imaginary, it's 1. Hashirim, Ha, 5. So this union of Aleph and Hey. And then how do we start the Haggadah on Pesach? We started with Ha, which is Hey Aleph. And so there's a union here between Ha of Pesach and the 116 plus 1, 117 Aleph Hey of Kislev, which we will manifest in its most beautiful way in Kislev. But so far, I haven't gotten to my point, and that's why these videos are not for people, because people have a 1 minute attention span. What I'm trying to say is that if you take 364 of Cheshvan and you add it to 116 of Kislev, you get 480. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Today is a unique day of the union of these 2 months of Kislev and Cheshvan, or Cheshvan and Kislev. It's a unique union of 364 of Cheshvan and 116 of Kislev. That makes 480, and 480 in gematria has a unique function, because 480 is Sitra Akra. Sitra Akra is 480. And this is the great secret. The great secret is that the Sitra Akra contains all this light that has to be brought out, like the olive. And in the same manner, how you bring out oil and light from the olive. Remember, Kislev is considered by everybody the month of lights. Anyway, 480 has other gematrias besides Sitra Akra. Remember that 480 is Sitra Akra. It's the reversed lettering of Sitra Akra is Samach, Aleph. If you reverse those letters, you get Ein Sof, and Ein Sof is all light, and the gematria of Ein Sof is 207, which is the gematria of Or. So you're seeing some of this here. And this is all calendar work. The other thing, let me just put this because it just came through my mind, is that 480 is 2 times 240. 240 is the name Mar, which very often goes into Cheshvan as its complement. Mar Cheshvan. And so Mar is actually a hetzi, it's a hetzi of the full 280. And Mar, of 240 of the 480, it's a hetzi. And Mar is a makak. It's a cockroach, which has a symbolism in my own family life. $240. This 240 is also can be found in the Kislev. If you add the 4 letters of Kislev to the 116, you get 120. Again, that's a hetzi of the 240. So these are balanced off, and why? We still haven't gotten to anything yet. And then more 480 is Tillim. You ever see Tehillim? You know, Psalms? Very often in the writings that I've noticed for the past 40 years, it's spelt without a hey. So it's Tav. Normally it's with a hey, Lamed, Yud Mem. But it's often written without the hey. If you write it without the hey, Tillim is 480. So Tillim would be a great way to counterbalance the Sitra Achra. And since today is 480, this unique day of 30th of Cheshvan, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, as 480, we're going to balance it off with Tehillim today. Specifically say some Tehillim. Another thing of 480 is Talmud. Tav, Mem, Tav, Lamed, Mem, Vav, Dalet. Talmud, 480. Study the Talmud today. Another gematria for 480, Lilith. This is one of the great deep secrets, because every woman, every person has a two-ness involved. And in the wives of Adam, he had 2 wives. He had first Hava, what they call Hava 1 and Hava 2. Or he had Lilith as his first wife, and then he had Eve, Hava. Lilith is 480 in Gematria. Lamed, Yud, Tav. And if you take an Atbash on the last letter of the Tav, you get 91. Excuse me. No. It's 81, but that's enough. No, we won't do that right now. So you get 480 for Lilith. So focus in on the two wives, you see. The two wives of Adam, but today is Lilith. And that everything is a double feminine. And even last night in my personal thing, some things happened I didn't before I realized all this. I was involved in some thoughts of sexuality of the Sitra Akra. And that's Lilith. And so these things balance it off. So today, as Sitra Akra, 480 of the union of Kislev and Cheshvan, which is 2 times Mar, the fullness of Mar Cheshvan. We're going to counterbalance this off and unify it. If you think you need counterbalance, it's a unification with other 480s, which are Tilim, Talmud, thoughts of Lilith, and see what happens for today. And be aware of this union. Be aware of this union of Cheshvan, Kislev, which is the uniqueness of today, 30th of Cheshvan, Rosh Chodesh, Kislev. The number 480. And if you take a Shelem Vehetzi of 480, you get a 240, which is a Mar, and a Makak, a Makak or something, Mem Kuf Kuf, 240, cockroach. Which is a specific animal of today, or insect, or whatever. And how does this relate to the energies of today and to the coming month? And how will this relate to the uniqueness of this month that's formulated in Chabad on the 19th? There's their new year of Kislev, and for the world on Hanukkah, 25th. So, in a certain sense, today it's 26 days before the 25th, and the uniqueness of Yud, He, Vav, He in the number 26. So we're at the 30th of Cheshvan. 26 days, Yud, Ke, Vav, Ke from Kislev, from Hanukkah. But I'm stuck on this uniqueness of today.